over the island. We had to do to earn these powers.
Hi Magda, how you doing?
Hello Mark, it's a privilege to meet you. I would like to know what main differences can you see between the show and the comic?
Well, we've purposely made a lot of changes at the beginning, not so much to change the story, but to expand the story, because the comic is relatively short, you know, like a comic book is only 20 pages each one, and the show would have been over by episode 3 or something if we'd shot the whole comic. So what we did was we never changed anything so much as we went in and we went really deep on everything. So we expanded things that looked really interesting and made it into a bigger deal within the show. And that was wonderful. You know, that was such an interesting process. And we had the best people in the world doing it. You know, Stephen DeKnight, fantastic showrunner, an amazing room of writers. So the whole thing just developed beautifully, and it ended up being more than the books, which actually I think is always what you want from an adaptation. Like certainly as a producer, it's what I want. You know, you want it to actually feel like the material has been improved after 3 years of thought with 200 or 300 people working on it. You know, it's wonderful at the end to be, you're really proud of it and your family and friends are going to enjoy it.
And I'm very curious, which is your favorite character from Jupiter's Legacy and why?
That's such a hard question. I think I love them all. I really do. And my children ask me this, which is my favorite of my children. And I find it really hard to choose a favorite as well. I do love them all the same, you know, my own children. And it's the same with the characters. Like George, I love. Matt Lancer is amazing playing George. Walter, Ben Daniels is like one of the best actors in the world. I mean, he's amazing in the show. Josh and Leslie are amazing as Utopian and Lady Liberty. But I think Hutch is so good. I love Hutch as a character. And I love his connection to Skyfox and everything, the fact that's his dad out there and everything. And he's such a charismatic actor and such a fun character, you know, he's cool. Yeah. Chloe's also great, though. I built the show around Chloe, really. Is if you've read the books, you'll see where the story goes with Chloe. So she's so important too. I guess it's a nice thing. If we removed any of them from the show would not be as good. So they're all so important to me.
As a comic writer and as a producer, how were you involved in this project?
Well, it was funny. I sold my company to Netflix in 2019. So I took a job as president of Millarworld once Millarworld was actually owned by Netflix. So kind of like at Marvel, you know, you have someone overseeing all the projects. I do that with all the properties. There's 20 properties within Millarworld at Netflix. So I choose you know, who's going to be working on particular shows and work with them and develop the scripts with them and so on. Then I sit on the editing side of it and tweak the shows until we're really happy with everything. So like the other day, one of the projects we're working on, I heard a really good piece of music that I wanted to use as a theme tune for one of the shows, and I sent that into the team and everything. So it takes many different forms. You know, you're spinning a lot of plates when you're doing this job, as well as doing writing daytime.
Many of the comics you've written have been adapted into films and series. Have you ever thought about writing like a directly movie or a series?
No, I get to do that in my Netflix job, really, you know, so I get to do the development side of things and the editing side of things and everything. So I feel I scratch that itch, and I bring in editors and I bring in directors or showrunners or whatever who are so much better than me, you know, than I would do that job. So I love that Mark Jobs, who directed episodes 7 and 8, of Jupiter's Legacy, he's amazing, right? I'm not going to direct an episode better than him, so I'm quite happy to bring him in and let him do the hard work.
Last but not least, what advice would you give to a kid that wants to start writing comics?
I would say it is literally what I wanted to do when I was 5, and now I'm a middle-aged man. I can't believe my luck that I'm doing what I wanted to do when I was 5, right? That was my ambition. The way some kids want to play for a football team, or some kids want to be astronauts, I wanted to write comic books and do movies, and I'm so lucky that I got to do it. So I would say to any kid who's even got a passing interest in it, develop it. It is the most fun job in the world.
Well, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Magda. Thank you.
Thank you very much.